Okay, so we're up and running, just kind of watching here. AI flattening out a little bit. SPY back up to the 15 again. You see the choppiness in the indicator here, going back and forth, back and forth. All the indexes moving, trying to move back up to the 15. Just kind of watching. AI back up to 35. told you he was taking big size.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him yesterday, you need to be careful. Market is not good for big size. Don't take big positions. And he gets overconfident. And this morning he says, I should have talked to you first. I took a bath on some long calls, big positions on him. I got out at the worst time. I panicked. He says, we need to talk. He doesn't need to talk. He knows what to do. He won't do it. He gets over, he makes a few good.
Which one is this?
Ed, the doctor.
Ed.
He gets overconfident.
Yeah.
He jacks his size up. And all of a sudden, one big trade, he wiped out a half a month's worth of profits in one trade.
Greed.
Because that's what it is. It's greedy.
Yeah.
So the market's trying to bounce a little bit here now. Here's the IWM. SPY moving up through the VWAP with a pivot point above. Q is also above the VWAP with a pivot point above. Pretty far above though. That's quite a distance to the pivot point. IWM still below it. Still below the VWAP.
So the indexes are grinding up here now. SPY's gone green. Triple Q's also green here by 0.6% after a little bounce. IWM, which was green earlier and went red, back to green again, right at this VWAP right now. Nothing here I can trade on the SPY super system. At least I'm not going to take longs right here. You know, that's a long right there in the SPY as it breaks above the VWAP here, but the pivot point right there. So I mean that's enough room if it goes to the pivot point to make some decent profits. But this whole day is very tentative to me right now. Triple Q's same comment, right there on the That's a breakout on the break above the VWAP, and with the pivot point up here and a standard deviation line right here. Still quite a bit of room, but you know, will it continue here? I don't know. This is really choppy action, and we've been drifting down. Keep in mind the SPY is still below the 50, but not by much. It's very close to the 50-day moving average. The 50 on the SPY is 591.14. 591.14. All right, so there's where we are. We're just 12 cents below it. And that's going to be resistance from below right now. I don't know how strong it'll be, but it is somewhat resistance. Q doesn't really have the same kind of resistance above it. It's got the 15 above it, but the 15 is up at 522. 522. Right up around here. Right up where the pivot point is on the Qs. Pretty tentative price action right here. This is where the Qs are on the daily chart right here. Right here on the VWAP again, with the 15 right there. That's a pretty tight range. About 522 right there, and we're on the VWAP, which is at about 519. So not a lot of space to trade in. You kind of want to see it break one way or the other. Q again, right back down to the VWAP here. See what it does here. It's on a VWAP and it's on an algo line right here. SPY looking exactly the same. SPY's turned yellow. Oh no, it hasn't. It's still blue. Still blue in the IWM, which is below the VWAP, by the way. And the Qs are just above the VWAP. So again, if it falls below the VWAP here, this trade's been negated. If it closes below the VWAP, then it's going to close below there. Very tentative trading this morning on the SPYs, and the SPY super system is very tentative. Q's fighting to stay above the VWAP here. So if you get into the trade right here, depending on where you get in, you're up a little bit of money on the Qs. That cube trade right there, if it broke from here, pulled back, didn't close below the VWAP, just moved up. It went from $1.85 to about $2.15 so far. Still moving. So again, a decent trade if you can stick with it. And it popped down below the VWAP on the wick at the bottom here, but it stayed blue, and if you stayed in the trade, you're okay. Again, 185 to about 225 right now. About 40 cents, not bad. All right, so that's another SPY super system trade. CME does look good. Yeah, that was called up this morning. Terry noticed that one. CME. Steve, you bought the MSTZ. Oh boy. That's the inverse to Bitcoin, or MSTR. This is the chart on it right now on the daily chart. You're up about 25%. Any opinion on the chart? Again, it's the inverse of Bitcoin. You know it's very, very sensitive to Bitcoin. It's also news sensitive. This is the move up on here. You see the 15 right here? That's a resistance level on this thing. And the 15 sloping down, the 8 sloping up. To me, that's your line in the sand. If it gets above that 15, you can probably stay in the trade a little bit longer. Let's take a look at some of the levels here. All right, so you can see where it is. That's a high volume line right there. Touched here, and went through the bottom of this one. But that's a high volume resistance line right there. 2320. That's probably a good level. That's going to be pretty close to the 15. That's what I would gear off. See, it's right at the 15 right now. So a move above 2320 keeps you in. A close below the 15 right here, in my opinion, would be a sell. Take the profits. Shy taking a look at Apple, looking good. Yeah, it fell down yesterday with the Fed, but it only fell down right to the 8, and today it's putting in a pretty nice green candle on a pretty choppy day. There's Apple right here. If I switch over to the 5-minute chart, I can see what Apple's doing. Here's the SPY right here from this morning. See the SPY has moved up, comes down hard, been kind of drifting down. SPY's coming down, Apple's going up, and again, Apple's is outperforming here. Relative strength on Apple on the 5-minute chart and on the daily chart too. Yeah, it's a nice setup, Shy. Again, I'm out of my SPY super system trades. Took the SPY twice and Qs once. Took the Qs here where I mentioned it, and again, very tentative trades, and you can't stay in them very long. This was good for about 30 cents, $30 a contract, right? And again, I'm looking for some trades, but I'm also looking for strangles, because I'm really not directionally motivated at the moment. I don't know that the market's going to go up or go down, so I'm looking for outstanding stocks. Either way, we've had a few nice ones called out today. Caesar, which went down to the 33.11 that I was mentioning, and just bounced right off of there. But It's a nice short. BX was mentioned as a nice short. CME is a nice long, which it is. It's a nice setup long. But I would probably focus on, if you're taking any short or long trades today, I'd kind of focus on taking profits today if you can. In other words, you don't want to be holding too many longer positions overnight. At least I wouldn't. Looking at our FI, FI up nicely this morning, about $3. We get plenty of time on that one. Roblex is up 0.5% this morning, trading right at the 8 exponential moving average. See if we get any questions. Hey Thomas, good morning. Good morning. Thomas is joining us from YouTube. Appreciate it. Again, after a wicked day yesterday in the market, as far as a huge drawdown off of that Fed report, indicating that they're not likely to cut rates in January. They may cut a couple times next year, but right now they're basically thinking they're going to hold rates where they are now for a while. Inflation's moving up a little bit more than they expected. 2.1 was expected, 2.5 was where they estimated now. So that's putting a little pressure on them not to do any more cuts right away. Things can change, of course. So what we've got today in the market is a really choppy action. Again, we got the SPY just below the 50-day moving average on the daily. We got the Qs right on an algo line. Here's the Qs right here, right on this algo line. This one I just traded long just a minute ago for a quick trade off this move off the VWAP right here. I took it here. I took it off here. 2 candles. That's about all you can get out of these trades today right now. Here's the SPY. Again, it's above the VWAP as well. That trade worked about the same. And the IWM, which has been below the VWAP, is still below the VWAP. This is the VWAP on my chart here, on my TC2000 chart. This is the 8. Those are both levels that I use. Alright, so that's where we are right now. I've taken 3 SPY Super System trades today, all for wins. So 25, 20, and 30. So not bad. But they're very quick. And we did take a strangle in AI. I don't know why this cascading down scan isn't populating. That's very weird. But anyway, I did take this AI strangle today, expiring tomorrow. We've got the 35.50 puts and the $36 calls. So we're trading at 35.22. So our puts are just slightly in the money right now. But this is not what you want to see on strangles. You don't want to see this flat action like that. You'd much rather see a significant move. ASAN is also a pretty decent strangle, but again, it's moving flat as well. Pricing on it's really good. She's still here?
Yeah, I guess she was doing virtual.
Oh, I thought she had all of office today.
Yeah.
All right. See if we got any more questions. The market kind of churns around. Steve, you're welcome. LPTE, Joe? Yeah, absolutely. LPTE, low probability trading environment. Yep, certainly is. Again, I've taken 3 SPY super system trades today. All winners, nothing big, 20, 25, and 30. But that's a pretty decent day. Yesterday I had 1 a loser, 32 cents. And day before that I had 8 trades, 7 wins, 1 loss. So I've been trading a little bit more off of than I did earlier in the month. There just haven't been that many setups. But they really got to be quick today. And again, got to get in and get out fairly quickly. We do have a strangle on AI. We'll see what happens. Right now it's just moving dead sideways. And I'll hold this overnight if I don't get profits today. Nvidia up $4 today, right to the 50, right to the 8 exponential moving average, right at resistance, right where it closed yesterday. Tesla, which had a wild day yesterday, down another $7 today, sitting right on the 8 exponential moving average. Good thing we were able to get out of that yesterday on a call debit spread. That worked out pretty good. So I'm comfortable just sitting watching here right now. Other than having AI on for strangle, I don't really have anything.
Article out by Electric says Tesla sales in Europe are down 14% year to date, and it's time to worry.
Tesla sales.
Commentary out by Electric.
Tesla sales down 14% in Europe. All right, you bought some puts on UUP, paid $1 for them, the $30 puts. Paid a penny for them, basically. Yeah, and now they're at 4 cents. Yeah, I mean, looking at the 5-minute chart, it looks like it just UUP just bounced up. That's the U.S. dollar index, by the way. Bullish fund. Mary, okay?
willing to move forward with buying a home, resulting in additional purchase activity?
All right, kind of watching the market here again. LPTE today, a low probability trading environment. Really hard to get any kind of follow through here. The Qs have fallen back below the VWAP again now. These trades have to be really quick if you're doing a SPY super system trades today. Trading the Qs, the IWM, or the SPY, you've got to really you have to be in and out pretty quickly. Not a good day for trying to stay in a trade very long. Again, we took an AI strangle. We're waiting to see this thing move a little bit. Right now, it's just kind of moving sideways. Welcome again to the folks watching on YouTube. Happy to have you in the room. Not much of a day for trading after that big drawdown yesterday in the market. Huge drawdown in the market yesterday. Today pretty choppy. SPY up about 0.6%, but nothing really dramatic here. The price action since the open got a gap up, and then it's really been just kind of drifting down, and then we got a nice little run up here. Again, this was good for SPY super system trade here, boom, boom, and out. I actually traded the Qs off of that because the SPY was much too close to the 50-day moving average. So I traded the Qs off of it here, out here. But yeah, I've hit the 3 SPY super system trades today off the small moves, and up about $75 a contract or so. Right now, I'm not in anything except the AI strangle. Except for our longer term positions. This we took profits in yesterday. BBAI, I did take that off of the list. That was a nice profit, nice quick trade on that one yesterday. It's pulled back pretty hard today. But Tesla was a nice trade yesterday also. I'm just going to look for some stocks. Really I'm not anxious to trade too much today. To hold overnight. I mean, I haven't really found anything I want to hold overnight yet. But I'll be looking for some here this afternoon. Is the market really not showing us anything dramatic? The SPY on the daily chart. Again, here's the daily chart on the SPY. We're going to keep these things in mind. There's the 50-day moving average right there. It got above it this morning, and now it's pulled back below it again. And it's sitting right on this horizontal support line. Triple Qs, they're right just below that algo line that they closed on yesterday. Again, big, huge red candle yesterday, really massive. And the IWM, same thing, of course. Again, see how this is basically putting in a double bottom with yesterday's low and bouncing off this horizontal support line, but again it's below all its moving averages, so pretty weak on the IWM. As far as the indexes are concerned, the IWM is much weaker than the SPY was, and the Qs, but you can, those candles yesterday really stick out. There's a dramatic move down, a little bit of a price correction in a lot of stocks. Tesla pretty weak today as well. Apple was pointed out as a nice long. It is a very nice long setup. SCME was also a decent setup for long this morning. Alright, so I'm just going to look for some stocks, see what I can find here. There's our AI. Not doing much of anything right now. Micron with a massive drop down this morning off of earnings. Still down pretty hard. Teva creeping up. LYB was been a bit decent short, but again, just moving sideways right now. So just gotta look for some additional scans I've got in TC2000. I don't know why this cascading down scan is not populating. TOS does this sometimes. Thinkorswim. Sometimes it gets really squirrely with the scans. This one seems to be working fine. Yeah, look at that Z car. Cheap stock, $2.90 stock. Here's the Z car daily chart here. Right back up to the crazy candle today. $1.40 to $2.94. $2 stock though. There's spies and Qs setting up off the VWAP and the 15 again to the downside. This is just a lot of chop trying to trade when you're trading this stuff. So you got to be pretty nimble on these trades. took some Q puts here, coming off of the 15. I used the 519s expiring today. 519s expiring today. Paid $202 for them. Again, I gotta work this trade fast because I can't be in this thing very long. Again, I bought the Q puts, paid $202. They're trading at $217 right now. I got to sell over at $224. Again, I'm not expecting any massive pull downs in this thing. Alright, so I'm out of that trade. I just took quick profits. I really don't want to stay in these things very long on these moves. So that was a 202 to 224. So about 22 cents on there. That's about all I'm looking for today. That's a small move in the Qs. I mean, that's a 20 cents in the Qs is very small. But I took it and I'm out. 202 to 224. So there's another nice, decent small trade. Just trying to kind of show you how to trade these SPY super system trades. Again, you have yellow here on the current time frame momentum. This is what we're interested in. It goes from green to yellow, bullish to bearish. Institutions go from buying to selling. It's coming right off of the 15. You take it off the 15, and I'm out. Is it still inside this dynamic compression zone? And I'm out of the trade. It could go down some more, but I'm out of it. I'm happy with it. Trading at about 217 right now, so I got it for 224. Okay, so that's how I trade these things. Again, that's like 4 of these I've taken today. They've all been winners. Nothing big, but the 20, 25, 30, 45, 75, 95, 97. So $97 a contract. It's 10 contracts. It's $970 profit on my SPY Super Systems trades today. But this is all you can get in a day like this. If you're not nimble enough or you don't you're uncomfortable trading these things, the best thing to do right now is not trade at all, because the market's not going anywhere. Again, I like the AI strangle. It's starting to pull down a little bit now. So we'll see where that goes. Again, I got a sell order set at 207. Get in for about $1.70. So it's trading right now at $1.73. But anyway, that's how I trade the SPY Super System trades. I just wanted to go over it again. I got a video on this, exactly how you trade off of these high SPY Super System setups, looking for the highest probability trades you can find. Today's not a good day for high probability trades. I'll tell you right now. This is a LPTE, a low probability trading environment. So for me, these are scalps. I mean, even though I'm in there for a couple of candles, this is about as quick a time frame as I want to trade. I don't want to trade anything faster, but on a day like this, sometimes that's what you got to do to either that or just don't trade, which is not a bad idea either. As Dan points out, SPY Super System trades make for an exciting day. Yeah, if you can catch them right and trade them correctly. The thing is, you don't want to chase these things. When they get too far away from the VWAP of the 15, don't be chasing them. Wait for them to come back. And on a day like this, this is like you said, this is like gives you good opportunities on a pretty slow day. And again, that's why I introduced these, was because a lot of times we sit and watch for trades all day, and a lot of times there isn't anything. Maybe one we can take for that could become a swing, but the SPY super systems on a lot of days gives you some opportunities to make some decent money while you're waiting for some setups for some longer intraday trades and some swing trades. So that's why I outlined it. It's been really effective. This month was crummy at the beginning of the month. I mean, I was up a little bit of money, but not much. But the last few days have gotten much better. Here's AI pulling down, back down to 34.50 roughly. Again, we're in the 35.50 puts. So we're about a dollar intrinsic on the put side right now. Again, I put a 207 price in there. Right now it's trading at $1.81. So if it pull down here to about probably in the neighborhood of about 34.20, 34.10, will get us profit in that one. We want it to keep dropping because the puts are in the money here. SPY kill coming in here. Q's also still coming in. Could have stayed in that one a little bit longer, but I didn't. I just don't like this choppiness today. And the SPY is staying below the 50-day moving average. So until that gets above the 50-day moving average and closes above there, very difficult to take a lot of long swing type trades. triple Q's also below their algo line, and below that 15 and the 8. So again, very difficult to take swing type trades long. I mean, I can find a bunch of them that look pretty good. A lot of choppiness. Nordstrom's is strong today, but a lot of choppiness in it.
Watching Tesla TSLA hitting new lows of the day.
Tesla
See
coming
more
in.
traction on that earlier article in the Bloomberg comments from this morning from Electric on Tesla, saying sales in Europe are down 14% year to date, and it's time to worry. Traders are seeing more circulations on that headline.
Tesla moving down here again. They said that the sales in Europe down 14%. Tesla's coming off an all-time high here 2 days ago and then yesterday. So, under the market circumstances with that big pull down yesterday, is it unexpected to see some profit taking? And not to me, it's not. These are stocks that have gone up a lot. Again, Apple was looking like a good long, but again, you got to be very cautious here on the long side right now, in my opinion. SPY still coming in. Again, I'm out of the Qs for short that I was on just a little bit ago. I could have made about another 40 cents on it, but I'm not going to be greedy today. It's just not worth it. Gary, in a long strangle, or I'm buying the calls and buying the puts, am I favoring the downside? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's the whole point of buying a strangle. I don't care. I'm looking for an oversized move on the stock. The thing with AI is, if I look at this, what do I like about AI? Well, I like this big candle today. All right, and the volume you can see right now is already above average. It's blue here, so white is above average. Blue is way above average. It's way above average already today on this daily chart, and it does have some support down here about 33.80 or so. But I like the big candle. I get in at when it was up in here, and what I'm looking for is just any kind of a move. I don't care. Is this likely to retrace or keep going down? I suspect one way or the other. And the fact that we were able to get in for a decent price of like $1.70. If I look at the ATR on this, is how much is it moving a day? Right now it's around 430. So we're in for $1.70, even though we didn't do a straddle. We did a strangle, so we had to go up one strike and down one strike. But still, $1.70 is really cheap on a strangle like this. So again, that's what I liked about this particular one. There's a few other ones out there too that were decent. ASAN is another decent one. If you can get it cheap, because you can get that one pretty cheap. Also Micron with a big drop down here. You just got to be careful what you pay. Micron had earnings last night, so you got to be careful what you pay today, because the options premiums will be inflated a little bit today after earnings. But that volatility will be crushed out as the day goes on. A lot of it's crushed out already. Shiv, you took 3 SPY Super System trades today on the SPY for 39 cents. Nice job. Since you're new to this one, you're only using one contract to get your win rate up. Yeah, that's smart. When you're learning it, that's the way to do it. Just one contract at a time until you feel comfortable with it. The only reason you would take more than one, if you took 2, you can close one and hold the other. But typically in choppiness like this, I'm opening the trade and closing the trade all at one time right now. What will be the sell price in the AI put? Well, I'm selling the whole thing as a strangle. So I'm going to sell the whole thing at 207. I suspect the, let me see what the put is right now. Well, AI just sold, by the way. AI just closed at 207. So what was the put on AI when it closed? Let's look. All right, closed it for 207. The put was selling at 202. Put was 202. The calls to 182 on the put side. Trading at 182. The calls were still selling at 24. So we were able to get 207 for it. So I'm out of AI at 207. But I typically don't leg out of this. I mean, you can try to leg out of these if you want to, but if you're getting out on the put side, legging out, and the stock continues down, then what you're doing is, if you don't close the whole strangle at one time, is you're holding on to the call side, and if the stock continues down, the call side is going to start going down in premium. Of course, it's going to decay. So you'll end up not getting as good a profit if you try to leg out, if it doesn't turn and go the opposite direction. And I'm not messing around with that. I just want to close it out, take the money, and go, which we just did. Okay, so we sold that for 207. So about 37-cent profit. And you know, if you wonder why I took it, why I was there, let me do this so I can send this out on the alert. If you're wondering why I put the sell order in there as opposed to trying to let it run a little bit more, it was because of this horizontal support line right here at 33.80. It could run down some more, but you know, I'm looking at that as a reasonable support. It could go down to the 50, but I'm happy with the profits. I'm out of it. I can look for another trade. And let me send that out to the alert folks. Decent profit. Okay, so we're out of AI. Again, I've taken 4 SPY super system trades today. This is one where, if I stayed in this one, this would have been the only one today that was really would have been made sense staying in. But again, I can't do that when I don't have any historical information today to tell me that would be a good trade to stay in. And this is what's probably going to happen. Again, this is an LPTE day, low probability trading environment. So again, we can't really let you always hear, let your winners run and cut your losers short. You know, good luck trying to figure out how to do that. A lot of it depends on the day that the market's having. When you get a choppy day, cutting your winners short is smarter once you're in profit, as opposed to try to let them run, because they can turn into losers pretty quickly on a day like this. So that whole saying, let your winners run and cut your losers short, is sounds wonderful, but good luck trying to do it. All right, so we're out of the AI strangle. That worked out nicely. let's see. Nippon Gunner from the YouTube feed. Do I have any concerns about the government shutdown? No. Do I have any concerns about it? No, I'm not. Not from a market standpoint. No. Listen, the government shutdown. First of all, it only shuts down some of the government. But is it likely to get shut down? I doubt it. But who knows? Typically, they settle these things and roll them forward, kick the can down the road a little bit more. But I'm not worried about it from a market standpoint. The Fed was the big concern yesterday, and the market reacted really brutally to that Fed. It wasn't the rate cut that cut them. It was the fact that they're probably not going to cut in January, and they increased their expectations on inflation from 2.1 to 2.5, which the market took as very, very bearish. Now, you got to remember, we've been running around the all-time highs here for a couple of months. So when people get antsy, they go ahead and start taking profits, and that's what's happened. I mean, you can see that. You can see that obviously in a lot of the stocks that pulled back yesterday. If you can find stocks that held up well yesterday, those are good stocks for continuing to stay long. I'm in FI, and FI held up pretty well yesterday, and again, it's up today another $2.50 after getting pounded when their CEO reported that he's leaving to go to the Social Security Administration. I think it was an overdone sell-off, so we took some of those. But yeah, today is a choppy day. Market is say you can see the SPY's up 0.3%, but you never know it. It was basically the gap up that did it this morning, and we've been just drifting all around here today. And I've just been taking some SPY Super System trades. I've taken 4 of them off of the SPY and the Qs. I traded the SPY and the Qs for both of those, and not at the same time. Off of the break off of the VWAP right here, or the 15 EMA. My last trade was off the Qs, off the 15 EMA as it broke below it right here. And I took profits right here. I could have stayed in a little longer, but I didn't because we haven't had too many cases today of 4 red candles in a row. It usually reverses pretty quickly, so a lot of chop. Nippon, you think we might see a lot of choppier conditions next year? Chop conditions in the market, choppy market days, a lot of times you get gaps, but choppy market days are very common. What we call low probability trading environment. You don't get an awful lot of trending days where you can really ride stuff for a while. So you've got to be looking at your daily chart when you're going to take a trade. Not a SPY Super System trade off the indexes, but a trade off of any particular stock that you're using, taking options. You've got to be looking at your daily chart, and you want to make sure you're following that. If you get in on a bullish daily chart, you stay in as long as it stays bullish, based on what your expiration date is. You've got to look for technical breaks before you get out of a trade like that. And when the market's choppy, you just have to follow that daily chart. I mean, it's really important to do that. Like we're in Roblex right now, and we're up to January in this thing. But it looks. See the drop yesterday? That is not a big drop compared to the SPYs and the Qs. All right, you see this drop, and you see this white line in the pink, the orange line. This is the 8 exponential moving average on the daily. This is the 15. I use these two in tandem. If it breaks the 8, as long as the 15 holds, I'm still in the trade. If it, a lot of times it just bounces off the 8. So, have I any reason to get out of this trade? No. And if you look at it, you see what you've got is a bull flag. You see the big volume candle here, right? That blue is a big volume candle. You had a nice pop up. The stock got a little extended from the 8. It pulled back to it. This is a PBO, a pullback opportunity. It bounced up, and now it's just moving sideways. And it's just following the 8 along right here. But you've got room between the support here and the resistance up here. And that's what we're trading off of. Nippon, I appreciate. Thanks for you like the feed. Very good. Again, it's the same thing that I'm doing in the room here all day long. Just looking for trades, looking at explaining the methodologies we use, looking at the market conditions for the current day, what's the best way to trade it, if trading it at all. Today's not a great day to be trading. I mean, it's just not a great day to be trading. You got a few nice setup here. Apple was set up nice and long, but again, you've got to give these. When you get into something like Apple, you can either plan on. You've got to know what you're going to do. Are you going to just day trade it for a quick profit, coming off of the VWAP, and then just get out, or are you going to try to stay in it based on the daily chart? You got to know because your break the points where you would take exit the trade are completely different if you're trading off the 5-minute chart, if you're trading off the daily chart. If I'm trading off the daily chart on Apple, I'm just looking at this this setup right here. This looks pretty nice. So if I look at it on my TC2000 chart, if I look at Apple, this is what I see. Right, I see a stock that pulled back yesterday with the Fed, but right to the 8, right to a support level. Gapped down a little bit this morning, but held the 15, and it's moving back up above it again today. This is a decent setup. I mean, this is a decent potential for a PBO, a pullback opportunity to the 8 and then bouncing. And some of the other ones, there's not an awful lot of really great, a lot of looking stocks right now after yesterday. Let me see what I get for relative strength stocks. Not very many. Yeah, Darden, which was off earnings, and ACN, which was off earnings. Those are the only ones I've got for relative strength. Relative weakness, I got a whole crap load of them. HIMS dropping down, again broke below the 50. So decent short, but I got a little support right there. SMR, this is one of my favorites to be long, but I'm not in it right now. We made some profits on it back here, but this is a short setup on SMR right now. Carvana, that yellow line is an algo line right there, algo support line, so I don't touch it when it's sitting on the thing. This is one of the Bitcoin stocks, Mara, breaking down. ENPH breaking down. That's a decent short setup right there in ENPH with room down here to 59.12. So those are the ones I'm looking at. MGM, Caesars was called out today. Shai called out Caesars as a short, is MGM. Yes, Caesars. Oops. Caesars right there, same thing. Needed to get below 33.11, which it has right now. MGM. UPS, by the way, is a short, but you got to be careful. They got earnings on FedEx tonight. Docs, you're looking at Docs. Yeah, Docs a decent long setup. Again, big bull flag here, big pullback. I mean, this is the bull flag actually failed when it got there. Big pullback, but moving up right now on Docs. Pretty choppy stock. I mean, this stock is really choppy. It had a nice trending move here, and then this big gap up, most likely on earnings, and then a pull down. But yeah, so it's a nice candlestick today. It's almost an engulfing bar, not quite. All right, just kind of look for stocks again. I'm not in any rush to get into any longer term trades right now. Well, I really want to see what the market does. Is the Apple moving down to the pivot point? That pivot point is a white line. Is the SPY trying to chop again? So I'll look for some more trades here after lunch. See if I can find another 1 or 2 SPY super system trades this afternoon. Again, this is what we're using. This is the SPY super system, a compass system that gets installed on Thinkorswim. This tells you what the institutions are doing. This is a current time frame momentum, multi-time frame momentum. It's bearish, red and yellow bearish, green and blue bullish. It's bearish right now in the Qs, but I don't take any trades here. I take them if they're coming off the 15 EMA right here, this yellow red line, or the VWAP right here. That's my support or resistance level that I'm going to trade off of. I'm not going to chase them down here. You can always do that, but it's not as high probability when you do that. Roblex, Terry, should you add to it here? I'm not adding to anything today. Roblex looks decent. It bounced off the 15, but I want to see this thing close above the 8. If it closes above the 8, I may entertain the idea of adding some tomorrow. Yeah, just what you said. It's above the 8. CME still really nice. Allie? Yeah, still trading very nicely. CME today. It's got good relative strength on the 5-minute chart. How do I know? Well, I just look at my TC2000 chart and I look at what CM. Here's the SPY right here, moving down. Here's CME moving up and sideways. Relative strength, pretty easy to see. Take a look at Tesla. What do we see? We see the SPY moving down, Tesla moving down. SPY was moving up, Tesla was moving sideways. Tesla is relative weakness right here. But it is just below the 8 with the 15 as support just below it. Time is it? 12:43. I got to get some lunch here. I thought I was getting hungry. Shy, you scratch Caesar, bounced off support, and the market's just chopping. Yeah, it's a tough day to stay in Caesars, but it's pulling back down again now, and it's below that 33.11. So it's still a decent short setup. But I mean, obviously it's a tough day to stay in trades if they start to work against you, or your profits get drained away to nothing. You kind of say, that's it for me. I'm done. All right, I'm gonna get some lunch. Again, I appreciate the YouTube folks watching the room today. I hope some of the things I said might help you with your trading. So, I'm gonna shut the YouTube feed down and I'm gonna get some lunch.